What up, everybody? It's your boy Chucky Goodman.
And your boy Jimmy.
Well, guys, on a little more serious note today, it's getting late today, and we really weren't gonna do anything today. And
But today is a special occasion.
because of the day, I'm hoping I'll get it edited and post before midnight, because today is truly a very awesome and amazing day.
It's August 1st.
For those of you who don't know what that means, 17 years ago,
Was the birth of Digimon.
today is National Digimon Day. What up, Gomamon?
Let's pop and play.
With that being said, today, obviously, on the whole Digimon Pokemon war, we're Team Digimon. I mean, I don't know about my brother, but personally, I never could stand Pokemon. From day one of it coming out, too much Pokemon talk would make my stomach hurt, and I would physically, get nauseous and stuff.
Yeah, I never cared too much for Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh myself. It was just, it was too much. And frankly, kind of ridiculous.
Digimon, on the other hand, at first, I took it as, all little boys like dinosaurs. And little insight to Chucky Goodman, my first imaginary friend was a little, kind of high-pitched, talking orange dinosaur who could change himself to become a really big orange talking dinosaur. Incidentally, that sounds an awful lot like Agumon and Greymon, who happens to be my favorite Digivolution. I don't know. It's not because he's the leader. It's not because he's the strongest. I just really like Agumon. And all his evolutions are really cool, too. What about you? Who's your favorite?
I don't know. I always had to think War Greymon. He was always the dopest to me. War Greymon.
Well, that kind of falls in the line with mine, but that works too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. You kind of took it, but I'm not gonna change mine just because it was the same.
Well, I didn't say you had to take it. I was just saying it falls in the line with Agumon and his forms. And that's not just saying I like our Agumon in all his forms. I mean, any variation of Greymon I thought was amazing.
I just thought War Greymon looked the dopest.
The only Agumon I didn't care for was Agumon from Season 5, where he had them wristband things and then Digivolved to Neo Greymon. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Bring back
Why
season...
change it? Why change
If you're gonna change it to Season 4 with Burning Greymon or Emperor Greymon. But with that said, though, guys, today is about the 16 reasons, and the link will be in the description, to why Digimon is better than Pokemon. Reason number 1. The opening had way better visuals for
Far
their thing.
Far better.
I mean, go check them out. You'll see.
Number 2. All Digimon talk. All Pokemon had was Meowth. Just plain and simple.
What did Pokemon say? Their name?
Over and over and over again, and surprisingly enough, they could understand it.
Digimon
I didn't get that at all. I was just like, I wish I could understand what the heck he's saying.
Digimon had several, just as many different Digimon as Pokemon had Pokemon, but all of them had their own personalities, own brains, thought and did what they wanted, and weren't really controlled. So yeah. Reason number 3. The Digivices came in more colors than the Pokédex. I'm going to add to that, it was more than just the colors, because the picture here shows the D3s from Season 2. You had different Digivices for different seasons. You had the Digivice, the D3 Digivice, the Detector, the D-Terminal. I mean, I could go on for days, but I'm really not going to. I'll go on to the reason number 4.
evolution was not permanent, you know, and you didn't really have to train for it. You could just elaborate some.
If Digimon had the strength to maintain it, they maintained it. When their strength wore down, they would either, you know, go back to a Digi egg, they're dying, or they would just revert back to a previous level, which let them save energy. So, thumbs up for Digimon. Reason number 5. Characters had more depth to them, and you could identify with more than just 3 people. So I never really watched Pokemon, but all I ever remember is that dude Ash. The other dude, do you know his name?
The stoned-looking guy, Brock, I think.
And then the chick wearing the booty shorts all the time.
Yeah. How does Misty wear booty shorts year-round? Who's Ash's daddy? Does Ash have a daddy?
I mean, basically, as I said, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure this video is going to get a lot of comments anyway because of the whole Digimon-Pokemon war. But, we'll go in that in another video. Like, reasons why Pokemon did better than Digimon. But today is about why Digimon is better. But, what I gathered from Pokemon, a little bit I managed to care to hear, it was really about the one kid and two friends he made along the way. Well, Digimon started with 7 kids who had the task of saving File Island, and then the continent of Server, and then the real world, and then, you know, the digital world, and then everything. And that was just season 1. Season 2 went way beyond it. Season 2 brought back villains from season 1, so on and so forth. Season 3 kind of took a big twist. Season 4 another big twist, and then you had season 5 Data Squad. Moving on.
Reason number 6. The characters weren't selfish, and they had, you know, reasons for all of their actions. It wasn't just some punk trying to catch them all, you know, they're trying to save.
The Digi-Destined did what they did to not just save themselves or make themselves stronger. The Digi-Destined did what they did to make the world a better place, to save the digital world, to save the real world.
To save themselves and others.
To save their best friends who happen to be their partner Digimon. Reason number 7. The crest had more value and were prettier than the gym badges. I mean, on that one I'm a little torn. Yes, I'll admit, I'll give Pokemon a little beef upwards. I don't know what the gym badges had to do, but some of the gym badges were colorful, were cool shapes, were whatnot. All of the crests were just little squares with an awesome emblem engraved in it. I'm the Crest of Courage.
I don't know how that would be.
The tag, but the crest couldn't work without the tags. From my understanding, the gym badges, you know, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they even have a purpose other than, oh look, I beat this guy, so I get a badge to prove that I beat him? The tags and crest helped the Digimon to Digivolve to Ultimate and Mega and just become stronger and more badass.
Reason number 8, my personal favorite. The villains actually scared the shit out of you.
I mean, prime example, the picture shown right here was their very first villain they ever fought. And that was Gabumon. And he's a big black devil.
Like,
so
tattered wings.
I mean, like, now,
ridiculous.
Today's standards of animation, maybe he may not be that bad from what you watched back then. But back then, 17 years ago, that was some scary shit. And Digimon people just got worse. Now, look-wise, their next villain, Patamon, really won't that bad, scary looking, but he was a pretty bad dude.
And going along with that, that kind of kept realism to the show. You know, not every villain is going to be worse than the last. some will be easier to take care of. Digimon kept a lot of realism to
Wow.
what
On the other hand,
they did.
on the other side of that same argument there, you know, Pokemon's been coming out with new shows and new games and new everything.
New monsters and
All that over the last 17 years. Digimon has too, but they've stayed in Japan. But over the last 20 years, Digimon has fought, like I said, just season 1, you had Devamon, you had Etamon, you had the Myotismon, and then Venom Myotismon, and then the 4 Dark Masters. And while you were fighting the Dark Masters, Etamon came back as Metal Etamon. You had Apocalypmon, the big final bad guy. You had all of the Dark Masters' little henchmen, all the people that Devamon took over on Foul Island with the Black Gears. You had all these people that Tai and them had to fight and learned who the bad guy was and defeated him, while Ash and his friends for 20 years have been fighting the Rocket people, or Rocket
Team
Gang, or
Rocket.
whatever the hell they are.
you know, in Digimon, these were
And
scary
still-
looking villains.
And still don't know their
that
enemies.
that caused chaos on a global scale. You know, it was, and people came out hurt after the battles. Main characters could be killed. I mean, which brings you to the next reason.
Shit got real, number 9. And the picture they showed for it is when Tai went back to the real world and everybody else stayed behind. He was given the option to stay here, live your life again, or go back to them not being selfish. Go back and save your friends and save the digital world. Yeah, he held his Digivice in his hand and went back to the digital world to save everybody. Ash is riding a bike in the rain.
Yeah, you know, although in Pokemon, although heartbreaking moments did occur, you know, no character were ever killed off.
I mean,
It wasn't that serious, you know. Oh no,
to
you
the
know.
extent of killing off, when Digimon started, yes, they couldn't die. They would die, but they would be reborn in their eggs. Yes, you learnt this when they beat Devamon and Anjumon died, and TK is like, whole world shattered.
Yeah, but in Pokemon, you couldn't die. I mean, that's just not reality.
Reason number 10.
There was actual storylines and, you know, plot to it. It's not just, like I said earlier, some punk kid trying to catch them all. There's actual...
Relationships.
It had more detail. There was more relationships. There was more relation between the viewers and the characters and the monsters themselves.
I mean, you had, like, you had the 7 Digi-Destined at first. Later on, Tai's sister Kari, making 8 Digi-Destined. And their 8 Digimon partner, that all of which had their own identity, their own personalities. Yes, the digital monsters and the Digi-Destined kind of, you know, their interests were kind of the same. They had the same outlook on stuff. Tai, for example, he was their leader, but he was kind of goofy, and all he really cared about at the beginning was soccer. Agumon was just like, I'm your friend! And then, well, he was Koromon. So.
Versus, you know, Pokemon, where they're in a rut. You know, they do the same thing in each episode. They run into a petty problem, pretend to struggle, and, you know, everything's happy.
Reason number 11. This one really gets you, right? The cliffhangers left you with an extreme case of anxiety. Point proven, episode 1. They beat Kabuterimon. No, not Kabuterimon. Blah. What am I thinking? Kabuterimon was Tentomon's Digivolve form. They beat Kawagamon. There we go. They're 2 giant beetles. You get confused. It's been 17 years, guys. But they beat Kawagamon in their rookie forms, and Kawagamon was a champion. Granted, it took all 7 of them, but after they beat him, the cliff breaks and they fall, assumingly to their death. And the show ends with all of them falling, going, ah!
Versus Pokemon, where the cliffhanger would be whether or not Ash got another badge, or not knowing if he would catch the Pokemon he was after. Oh no. Couldn't care less. I'd rather just go watch Looney Tunes or something.
Now, I could say on Digimon's behalf, one of their cliffhanger episodes would have been even better if they ended it like 30 seconds sooner. In the episode where Ben and Myotismon come back and they're having to find a way to get stronger with the way things were worded for them to do it, the prophecy and everything, they had to have two angels shoot the ones they were sent to protect and whatnot. Obviously, there was a hope and light from the angels was obviously TK and Kari's Digimon, seeing us how they had the crest of hope and the crest of light. So that's for you meant Anjumon and Anjawomon. Where they should have ended that episode for your cliffhanger was them throwing their arrows of hope and light into Tai and Matt. The older brother of TK being Matt and the older brother of Kari being Tai. When they got hit with the arrows and turned into giant balls of light, it should have ended there. That should have been the cliffhanger. Instead, they went in and showed what happened and made Agumon warp Digivolve and Gabumon warp Digivolve, which was awesome. And as soon as you saw their mega forms, it ended. And that was awesome. And that got your adrenaline excited and got you going. You're like, yes, I want to know what they do.
Got that blood pumping.
But it would have been so much better on like the, oh my god, what's going to happen to them note if it just ended when they got hit by the arrows. Reason number 12.
The characters weren't immortal. You know, Pokemon, how does catching Pokemon pay the bills, you know? And with
You can't live.
Digimon, there's, you know, they have to escape with their lives. They have to escape with, you know, saving others' lives. And in my personal opinion, Digimon really encaptured the sense of you being able to grow with your favorite cartoon characters. It really, they grew up along with you. It wasn't just, you know, Ash, who the only difference is...
The picture they got shown here of Ash is 2002
versus 2012.
2000 on like this half his face, and 2012 on this half. It's the exact same age, exact same kid, exact same everything, except for the animation's a little different.
Only difference is he's a little bit more tan, maybe, and
that's
his
because the
eyes
animation got better over
wider.
12 years. Digimon, on the other hand, you know, season 1 and season 2, there was a 4-year gap. It showed the kids grow up and have to bring in new kids.
And they all have lives of their own.
I mean, they went from middle school to high school.
As opposed to Ash, whom, with no explanation,
never had to go to school.
Is still a child. Never had school, never had a care in the friggin' world, just wanders about whatever, throwing Pokeballs at random little monsters in the grass. I don't follow it, you know.
Reason 13. You can become a Digimon, which is pretty badass.
That's dope hot.
Starting in season 3, the Digimon and the Digi-Destined were able to biomerge together to make the Digimon go to their mega form. Season 4, the Digi-Destined didn't even have partner Digimon. They just used their Digivice to scan their hand where a spirit they had collected made them become the Digimon. Agunimon, Burning Greymon, Logomon, Wolfmon, I think was his name. Not Wolfmon. I'm drawing a blank on Locomon's beast form. But go check out season 4. You'll see what I mean. It was friggin' awesome.
Pokemon, on the flip side of that coin, had the Mega Evolution, but you still have no clue what being a Pokemon feels like. You don't get to do it yourself. You don't get to share energy with your Pokemon and become one yourself. That's just lame. I'd rather have the option of being the closest thing to a superhero with powers that there is. But, on to reason 14. New monsters are just way cooler and more original. It's not the same thing over and over and over.
While with like season 1 and season 4, while season 4 was based around the spirits of the Digimon from season 1 who became the legendary Digimon, depending on how you look at it, and that'll be a theory for another day. But yes, you had like different variations of Greymon and Garurumon and like Kabuterimon and all them. But Pokemon, their Digimon was based off a turtle. I mean, their monster was based off a turtle, and its name was like something with turtle in it. Like what, Squirtle?
Squirtle, I think.
Yeah. Or
featured
like a poop.
something called Trubbish, which is literally the combination of trash and rubbish. For real.
Then, reason number 15. It could actually happen if you think about it. I mean, yes, you have people that would throw it down all the time. No, it's a cartoon, it's animation, it can't happen. Then you have people who say any kind of animation or science fiction or fiction is a cover-up by the government or the world's governments or whatever to make people believe like aliens and monsters don't really exist.
You know, in theory, if there were to be a digital world and other worldly things, and if people can get behind Pixar theories and Star Wars theories and etc. whatever other theories,
then the theory
this is really not a stretch.
Then the theory that Digimon could actually happen, I mean, look at season 3. They break down how Digimon came to be. It's not a separate world. It's not a separate anything. You don't know what's on other worlds. The digital world could be another world out there somewhere that might one day need your help and make you go. But season 3 breaks it down into everything that people have ever created on a computer gets deleted, gets whatever, and that became part of the digital world.
Especially with the rate at which technology is moving, you know, I mean, we're making technology thinner than pencils, you know, it's becoming crazy.
Making a cell phone, you know, as small as cell phones are, that can do just as much as a laptop.
If not more. Far more.
I mean, look at what I'm holding. My Samsung Galaxy S Tab.
That's thinner than a friggin' pencil. That can not only receive text messages, surf the internet, edit things, you know, take videos and pictures, you know. Who's to say that
one day it couldn't happen?
Since Digimon are made of, in essence, data, just digital pieces of data, or data, however, whatever part of the ocean, you know, whatever side of the ocean you're on, or whatever, you might say it differently. When I say data, whatever, screw you guys, not really.
That's like the big war with what's his name, Datamon or Datamon?
Yeah, precisely. But, you know, they're all made from digital data, so who is to say that we're not really far off from it? I mean, it wouldn't really take too long for them to become reality.
And no, that's not saying it would be Digimon like what we know it to be, but it would still be Digimon. It could still theoretically happen the way technology's going. But moving on.
Reason number 16.
The last one.
The final reason.
It actually ends.
It actually ends, and what an ending it was.
I mean, you go back and look at season 1's ending.
What a tearjerker.
You go back and look at season 1.
Amazing.
I'm a 28-year-old man, and I will sit here and tell you to the day I die, when I was a kid, I watched for the first time the ending of season 1, I cried like a little bitch. And
it's such a tearjerker.
I watch it now,
you know,
and I still shed a tear sometimes.
It's emotional. It brings back those childhood memories.
When Palmon wouldn't say bye to Mimi, and you thought she was going to leave without getting to say bye to her best friend, and potentially never to see them again, man, that was heartbreaking. It was horrible. And then she had a change of heart, takes off trying to catch her, but it's too late to get that goodbye hug, and all you can say is, bye, I'll miss you. And then they all show up together. I mean, it's just... Meanwhile...
Pokemon just keeps going and going and going and going.
And
creating more and creating more, and he doesn't grow up, and Misty's still wearing booty shorts, and Brock is still stoned, and...
And their Pokemon keep being named after rocks, or trash.
or what they do, or you know, whatever. But you know, Digimon like,
actually, as far as stateside, Digimon ended after season 4 for a few years, and then they brought season 3 Data Squad, and it was gone for like 10 years. Then they tried to bring it back to America with Fusion. Fusion did pretty good, but now they're coming back with the movies that they just remade.
You know,
and this September 15th, Digimon Try hits the States. I don't care if I gotta drive 3-4 hours to get to that theater. I will be there.
It's happening. We're going.
I will watch it.
But you know,
with my Digivice held high, holler, yeah! But
you know, Digimon, along with what it's saying here, it's given its own reasons, but you know, my thing, and I've said this several times in my own way, people need to know when to quit. Just like with The Last Airbender, you know, how many times will the world fall into jeopardy that seriously where the Avatar will have to step up? I'm pretty sure there's going to be years and years and generations of peace after he finally saved the world from the Fire Nation. Korra, I believe that entire show is irrelevant and should not exist. It's the dumbest show ever. It should have just ended with Aang. It was so great. It was so awesome. If anything, they should have picked up and figured out and put into words what happened to Zuko's mother and then left it. They should have known when to quit. It's dumb. It's stupid. I don't like it. You guys can give me hell for that. Whatever. If you like it, whatever. But know when to quit. It was a tear-jerking ending. And when they did come back around, they introduced new characters. They introduced, you know, new monsters, but still kept, it was still relevant. It still had a purpose. You know, the story, the new seasons were relevant. And they even managed to bring back older characters and whatnot, and still keeping the story alive. And what more could you ask for? Know when to quit. Pokemon's just never ending. Gotta catch them all, but all of them is just stretched into infinity. What are you gonna do?
So guys, I mean, you know, that was the end of our first anime related video. There will be more. There will be more theories on Digimon, more, you know, our opinions on how stuff went with Digimon. There will be stuff on other animes. And you know, personally, I'd like to see him make a live action-ish movie of Digimon. I know it can't be live action because all the monsters, all the Digimon are gonna have to be computer generated
because literally they're made of data. So,
but the actors could be real. You know, they could have a guy play Tai, a guy play Matt, so on and so forth.
All the way down to Kari.
You know, I'll be there to watch it.
I'll be there to watch it.
But they can't. And I'm a big DBZ fan, don't get me wrong, but there's no way they could do worse than Dragon Ball Evolution. I mean...
Yeah. Sorry, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know a single person that actually legitimately loved Dragon Ball Evolution. But hope everybody had a good Digimon day. And to all my Digi-Destined out there, go have a nice adventure and keep it real.
One love.